Hi everybody, welcome back to Collecting Canadian Cavalry and Armour. Today we're going to take a look at a very unique scarlet patrol dress jacket to the 15th Alberta Light Horse Band. Now this uniform is it's very interesting, it's very neat. It's got a lot of really cool aspects to it. And again, this came out of Clive Law's collection, and it is featured in his wonderful book, Scarlet to Khaki. Again, guys, the reference books, get the reference books. We'll show you some pictures in here during the video. So we have, like I said, this beautiful scarlet jacket. Let's hold it up for you here a little bit. It's a very small size, which is typical of the guys back at the turn of the century. Inside the jacket here, you can see it's got a wonderful lining in there. A little worn out in some places, but you can see down here that we have the size mark. And a lot of these older jackets, these old scarlet ones, and the blue patrol dress jackets as well, you'll find the size. So we have this is made for a guy that's 5 feet 9 to 10 inches, 36-inch chest, 32-inch waist. That's pretty small. And you can tell by, when you hold up the jacket. The other really cool thing about this jacket is we've got this guy's name in there. So it's something I still have to look up, of course. When I'm all finished, being a student at the university, have a little bit more time on my hands, and I'm going to try to start looking up a lot of this stuff. But that's the wonderful thing about collecting. I mean, you've always got something you can do with your collection. So anyway, we'll get back to that in a minute. So this guy is H. Latimer. And you can see the 15th Light Horse marking in there. So like I said, it's part of the band. Now, what makes it a band jacket? I'm sure that's the burning question. Now you can see the extra chevron piping stuff here at the bottom of the sleeves, in gold, which is very, very nice. And at the back, I'll see if I can hold this thing up here for you guys. You can see the fancy edition here on the back along the back seams. Very nice. And this is what denotes it as the band jacket. You'll also see on the epaulets we have the shoulder chains with the regimental buttons. Very fortunate that this jacket came with all the regimental buttons in all the right places to the 15th Alberta Light Horse. And we'll show you a close-up of the buttons here. But very nice jacket. Like I said, small size. We've got some pictures in the collection of guys wearing it, which is very nice. It's always great to be able to tie back an artifact in your collection to the people that were wearing it to the time, right? It brings everything in. And when you display your uniforms, if you can display a picture of the guys wearing it, I just think myself that it's really cool. Unfortunately, I don't have enough room in the house here at the moment to display everything. So I've got bins full of stuff, that one of these days I'll get be able to get out and display once things move around in the house a little bit. But anyway, Scarlet to Khaki. We'll show you a close-up of this, of the uniform. But you can see there's a whole page dedicated to these guys right here. Right, so you can see that they're wearing the Stetson hat, right, which was very, very common for the cavalry regiments, especially the ones out west, Alberta, Manitoba, all this kind of stuff. Was the hat of choice. So if you can find one, it goes great with the uniform. And as well, we have the old 15th Alberta Light Horse collar badges. So this, like I said, it's a complete uniform, jacket. The guys would have wore just the riding breeches, the khaki riding breeches with these during that time. So, kind of interesting, neat, hard to find jacket that, like I said, I was very fortunate to be able to pick it up when I did. And wonderful part of the Cavalry and Armour collection. So here we have another scarlet jacket. I'm going to take a look at the second one here. So this one, again, came from Clive's collection. it's kind of interesting. It is featured in his book, Scarlet to Khaki. Anyway, this one is probably 1907, maybe a little bit earlier or later, I should say, because you can see it's all one color. Okay, originally the scarlet tunics, when they came out, they had the facing color would be on the collar and on the cuffs, and then later on, the Ministry of Militia decided to save money and just use the same color fabric for the whole uniform. And we know that the chains came into use with 1903, 1904 era and around there. Some units got them sooner than others, that type of thing. And in the beginning, it was private purchase as well. Okay, so anyway, this is like a later jacket, still pre-First World War. Now you can see on here that we have the shoulder chains, but we also have major rank, which is a single crown up here, would be for a major, and on the collars, we have a set of collar badges for the Manitoba Dragoons. It's the earlier ones that we had looked at, because don't forget, in the previous episode, we talked about these guys. And the buttons are general service or militia buttons with the Tudor crown, which again just is post-1902, right? Now, the interesting thing about this one is it doesn't seem to conform to the dress regulations as far as the uniform goes. You'll see here that we have a bunch of pleats going down the front of the jacket here, which really wasn't part of the cavalry tradition. So it's more like a rifle's tunic or something, but it's definitely cavalry with the chain and stuff. Could somebody have just added it? I suppose, but I don't think Clive was that kind of guy that would just make stuff up. In fact, I know he wasn't. So it's the other interesting thing here is the belt that comes across. There is a hidden button down here that you would do up, and then the regular button. I'm having a rough go here, right here. So, like I said, it's kind of an anomaly as far as cavalry jackets go from that period. And of course, I checked the pockets, because every good collector checks the pockets. I don't see any size markings on here like we saw on the previous tunic. No name, nothing. So there's really nothing to go on. So it's a pretty interesting jacket, and it's a nice addition to the collection. But like I said, it is featured in Clive's book, right down here, where he mentions that it's not, that doesn't really adhere to the cavalry tradition as far as the dress regulations go. So sometimes that happens, guys, when you're collecting, right? You pick up something and gives you an opportunity to do some more research and try to figure out what's going on with some of these things. And again, like you said before, a lot of, during the early days especially, right? A lot of these jackets badges, uniforms, and all this kind of stuff was at the whim of the commanding officer. If he decided he wanted one a certain way, then that's just the way they did it, you know. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode with a couple of miscellaneous scarlet jackets to the Canadian Cavalry pre-First World War. Wonderful stuff, to have in your collection. And I hope you found this informative, and happy collecting.